Hello students, can you see this Word file which I am open?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
right. Okay, thank you. Yes, the last class, that is the first class. So we have to study about what is management science. Management science is a scientific approach to solving the management problem or managerial problems. Management science can be used in a varieties of organizations to solve many different types of business related problems. Maybe the production schedulings, transportations, project completions, assignments, okay, inventory management, right? No, there are more than 20 to 40 applications are there, right? Especially in the organization. So then second, we have to look into the last class, alternative terms for management science, operational research, decision science, quantitative techniques. These are some of the terms we can use as alternative for the management science. Third one is the purpose of the management science. Actually, it's helping organization to solve the business, real world business problem. In that process, especially if you're looking at very specifically, while we are looking at that, there are two things related to the operational, organizational operation, cost and benefits, or the cost and profits. If you are dealing with the cost aspects, we have to minimize the cost, and if you are dealing with the profit, we have to maximize the profits, right? So therefore, cost minimizations, maximization. By combining those, you can call this optimizations, right? That is called optimizations. Right? Then applications of management science, we can see uh, many functional and operational aspects of the organization, IT, information technology, there are applications, project management, there are applications, production management, operations management, operational management, HR and marketing, supply chain management, etc. Marketing, supply chain, etc. And also in which context we can apply the management science. There are five things as limited. Whether when the problem is a complex, problem is important, and if there are some new and familiar issues are raised, in that context, third one, fourth one, sometimes it's a repetitive nature. Same problem will come again and again. We have to sort it out. Complex as well as important, but the nature of solution seeking is a repetitive. So therefore, we can use a limited resource. Also, the limited resources while we are handling the limited resources also, we have to apply. Actually, this management science or the operational research started from Second World War period, 1940 to 55, that period. Second World War time. They are using these techniques for efficient resource allocations, etc. So later they apply to those things to the business context. And there are two main limitations of the management side. One is quantitative approach. Only it's looking into the quantitative approach, not looking at the qualitative aspects of this organization, and also certain assumptions we have to consider for the application. That's also one of the limitations. So then we check the model, how to formulate the models, and I'm taking a very simple example for you. This one is showing that the production cost is 5 rupees, $5, produce and selling price is 20. So when we go how to develop a mathematical model to compute the total profit, there is a problem. So then simply we say the total profit equal TP. TP is equal per unit selling price of the items minus per unit cost of the items. So the equations has two sides, left side and right side. So x is denoting number of units. So therefore, simply we can derive these equations for the models. TP is equal $20 x minus 5x, right? So 5x. Okay. So therefore, it's indicate this is total profit TP left hand side of the organization. Then the other side, if you look at the right hand side, there are two aspects. One is selling price, per unit selling price, but we don't know these X, unknown one. So therefore, we have to put it at X. We have to use it. This is a 20 is a rupee value, 20 rupees. That's why we put a RS. So you can put that's why we have put dollar sign, or you can put RS. And also, this is also rupee value. 5 is also rupee value. So 20 rupees or $20 minus $5, then 15. Right? 15. So we can simplify it. Both are X, therefore uh, TP is equal. Here this we can say that TP is equal how much? T X. 15x. 15x is this finally, right? So how many units we are producing and selling? If you are selling 1 unit, the profit is what? 15 rupees to 30, right? So likewise, it's good. So this is very simple and very familiar models in order to get understanding about this model I have introduced, and then I will complex or relatively is a issue in a manufacturing context. A firm plans to produce 2 products and produce 2 products. So the product one requires 200 units material one and 300 units material two, and again 300 units material. So it's that for the to produce the product one. These are the requirements, per unit requirements. Per unit requirements are given. And also for the product two, the per unit requirements are from perspective of material one is 200 units. Again, material two also 200 and material three add 100 units. These are the per unit requirements for the back. So additional informations are given. The manufacturers make net profit of rupees 20 on product one and rupees 25 on product two. Net. So then the monthly availability of materials are given. The month available is only 20,000 kilogram material one. Material two is 26,000. Material three is 22,000. So now you see these three are the constraints because these factors are limiting us to gain unlimited profit. That's why it's a limiting factor or a constraint in maximizing the profit, minimizing the cost, optimization purpose. So now is the question is how many units we have to produce in product one, in product two in order to maximize the profit. So that is the problem we have to handle it. So far we didn't get the answer. Anybody got the answer for this? Then as a homework I have this. Get the answer for this. Blue student, you have solved this equation and found the answer. You can tell, huh? You have answer. From 96 is here. From 96. From 96. From 139. From 139. Yes. 139. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
The last time my class, even after completing my that had written from 139, 139, that the last time check your connection is not connection is continued, you will have to complete the class. Right? Whole time. So be careful, right? So some people are locked and log in and leave it. From 39, from 96, MS 94, over MS 49, and MS 150. All these people are in my list. So you have to complete the class. That means continue. That means you are not going. Yes,
Sir.
yes, yes. Go ahead. Yes, you can speak. Yes. MS 115 is here.
Yes, sir.
So what happened to the last class? Be careful, right? So so that so in order to handle this problem, so find the solutions, I told that uh, so first we have defined the variables. So number of units we are producing, or we are going to produce in consider as X, and number of units we are going to produce in product consider as Y. So therefore, I develop a table and place all the values. Product 1, product 2, X, Y, total profit equations that are given 20x plus 25y, right? That is equal to total profit. That is objective functions, right? We have to count it. And also there are subject to certain constraints. Three constraints are there: material one, material two, material three, right? 200x plus 200y less than or equal 20 grams, and 300x plus 200 200 y less than or equal 26,000 kilograms, and 300x plus 100y than or equal 20,000 kilograms. So I explain why we have to put less than or equal, what is the equal sign, what is the non-negative difference sign, all the things I have explained in the last class. Okay, now we have to find the solution for it. Anybody? You check the solutions. Okay, now you see that. So we find the solutions. We have to do some transformation process in these equations. So as a first steps, we have to remove these inequalities. Inequalities means If you want to solve any equations, first we have to remove inequalities, less than, greater than problems are here. We have to convert them into equals. So left hand side should be equal to right hand side value. Okay. So therefore, here, here just I want to make some conversions, right? So if I take first equations, that means the first constraint, material one, I want to make it this one as a equal sign. Say about the first equations 200x plus 200y less than or equal 24,000. The less than or equal per month, the availability of this material is 24,000. Okay. If you want, we can utilize whole 24,000. We do that well. We do that well. So I have to introduce a variable. That is called slack variable. Okay. So in this first equations, I am introducing a variable called slack variable. So plus S1. So notation for the slack variable is S1. Right? Then we have to make this as an equal. Right? Please try to understand why I am using this S1, the new variable here. There are many sources are not utilized because according to the formula or a model, 200x plus 200y less than or equal 24,000. Time equal to 24 less than. If it is a less than that, there are variables needed there. So those balance resources. We are introducing a slack variable. That means so balance. Say for example, there are 24,000 there material, kilogram material. So only we are using 20,000 per month. Balance is 4,000. To represent that balance, we need a variable. That is called slack variable. So that's why here we are using variable called slack variable. Right? We are using a variable called slack variable. Similarly, for the second one, so 300x plus 200y, that is also not equal notations. So we are going to make it as equal one plus S2. That is equal 26,000. That is also equal to 26,000. Okay. Then for the third constraint also similar way we have to do that because there are also less than equal constraints. So therefore I add the again plus S3. These are the now you see that by using this variable S1, S2, S3, these are called slack variable. Now left hand side variable is equal to right hand side value. Right? Otherwise, no. Right? Now it is all these constraints now equal. So if there are balance, this one will absorb. There are balance in material one, this one will. There are balance in material two, S2 will absorb. There are balance in material three, S3 will absorb. So now you see all of the slack variables to represent unused resources. Right? Can you see what I am typing, students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The role of the select variable is to represent the role of the select variable is to represent unused resources. Unused resources. Hmm. So the S1 is for the which material? S1 is used for which material? Hello students, S1 is used for which material? Hmm? S1 is used for which material? Material?
Resources of material one.
Material 1. S2 is used for material 2. Right? S3 is used for material 3. Now this equation is balanced. Okay? But here there are no changes. Non-negativity constraint, there are no changes. We don't need to make it equal. You are producing x and y takes plus value, not producing is equal to 0. So therefore, we don't need to convert it. And in the objective functions also, we have to make some changes. Right. To represent this S1, here also we have to add plus 0 S1. The 0 here means the coefficient of S1, that is 0, there is no profit. That's why it's 0. Plus 0 S2. 0 S2 plus 0. Now you see that this S1 representing this S1 in terms of profit 0. Therefore 0 is here 0 is there is no profit. So this like variable to unused resources, there is no profit. Right? So for S3, here also we are using 0. So now you can see the status from this format. We have converted into this standard. Now we have to put these things into a table. Now we can develop a table. You can carefully see table here. You also can parallelly develop. Right? This is X, this is Y, this is S1, this is S2, and this is S3. Also, solution is so as a column for solution and another column for ratio. Resources. First material, here requirement is 200. The S1, this is, there is a 1 is there, it's a coefficient, but we are not putting here. But here S1 taking value 1. First equation is to so any value therefore it's 0. He also Okay, and the 22,000 we have to put it here. The first step we have to put other sub J. J. The other row is Cj minus Zj. J minus Zj. Okay. Cj is here. Then Zj I'm introducing. Cj minus Zj I'm introducing here. These are the constraint per unit requirements. This you see these diagonal values. Taking 1 as a coefficient. This one is representing material 1. This one is representing material 2. This one is representing material 3. The other places you see the zero values are there because those areas are there is no any value for those. So therefore it's taking 0. Okay. So please try to understand. Okay. Only this corner point, this one indicate 26,000 material. This one indicate 22,000 material 3. Okay, S1, S1, S2, and S3. Right? S1 and S2, S3. Because these are the basic variables in the process, starting with this variable. So, coefficient of this variable S1 is 0. Yeah, let's see. So we have to put this, we have to put this 0 here. Right? Also, we have to put this 0 here. Yes. Yeah. Mhm. Similarly, this one is taken for this one, this 3. Table number 1. So one. Write the first table. S1, S2, S3. Right? CJ column are there, SatJ column are there, rows are and what's there. You have to multiply this 0, 200. Multiply, right? You have to multiply this 0 with 200. That is equal 0. Again, second one, this 0 has to multiply by 300. This 0 has to be multiplied by with 300. That is also 0. For the last one also, this 0 has to multiply by 300. Right? And this 0, third 0 has to multiply by this 300. That is also 0. After that, we have to add all these three. Okay, multiplication of this, multiplication of this, multiplication of this. Add all these three values. That is also 0. 0 multiplied by 100, 0, 0 multiplied by 300, 0. Again, next 0 has to multiply by 300. The summation of all these 0 will be so we have to get in the set J row. This 0 has to multiply by 200. This 0 has to multiply by this 200. And this 0 has to multiply with this 100. This 100. So that is also 0. Then this 0 has to multiply by this 1. This 0 has to multiply by this 0. This 0 has to multiply by this 0. That is also 0. Then this 0 has to multiply zero has to multiply by this 1. This 0 has to multiply by this 0 and this 0 has to multiply by this 1. Then that's also 0. Similar way for all these values we have to multiply. 0 multiply 0, multiply 1, multiply 0, add all, put it here. After addition, adding only you have to put here. Huh? And again, this 0 has to multiply by this 0. This 0 has to multiply by this 0. This 0 has to multiply with 0. Then 0. Now you see that Cj, the Saj value we have found. How we have found the Saj value? In each column, this basic variables coefficient has to multiply by the unit per unit requirements and get per unit requirement and they got it. Similarly, all these x we got it, y, s1, s2, s3, all are multiplied and got it. Then we have to find the Cj minus Zj value. What is the Cj minus Zj? Here Cj is 20. Zj is 0. Cj minus Zj value how much? Solution Cj minus Zj how much? 20 minus 0 how much? 20. 0 how much? 25. 0 minus 0. This 0 minus this 0, that is also 0. This 0 minus this 0, that is also 0. This 0 minus this 0, that is also 0. Okay. Now we have completed the first table, and also we have to do a checkup. Right, in the first table, we have to find the five things we have to do. First one, we have to find out the key column. Key column we have to find. The second one, key row. Third one, key value. Fourth one, entering variable. Leaving variable. So now I am going to explain how to do this. Find the key value. So key column, row, key value, which is entering variable. This table, entering variable. The next table, not this table, next table. And leaving variable is from this table. Okay, right. Now you see that these are the unit requirements. These ones are representing three corners, diagonals one representing material one, material two, and material three. These are the unit requirements. This is J value, right? This is J value. Next one is Cj minus J value. So now we have found it. Now from this we have to find the key column. Key column, how to find it? So out of this Cj minus, the problem is with so we have to select the per unit profit as a key of the key column. Okay. This is this table. You can see what is the largest positive value in Cj minus at 0. One is at 0, 0. Define. So the 25 considered as EC. Right? This is column. Okay. Well, how to find the ratio is is 24,000. 24,000 has to be divided by this 200. How much? How much? 24,000 divided by 200 students.
120.
120. Right. Similarly, this 26,000 has to be divided by this 200. Much? 130. Okay. Then we have to divide this 22,000 with 100. How much? 200. Okay. Check that. If I'm anything wrong, you have to say. Now, info first, we have some, yeah, these three values 120, 130, 220, 81. Which one is the smallest positive? 120 or 130 or 230? 220.
120.
Okay. This the way we are. So key row. Key row. Column we have selected, key row we have selected. Right, first task is completed, second task also complete. We have to check how to select the key column and key row. First, we have to the selection of key column. We have to look into the Cj minus Zj values, which is the largest positive one. So therefore, that is 25. Then you have to consider this 25. While you are coming throughout this way, from here, you have to divide, right? 20. You have to divide 22,000 into 200. 26,000 into 200, 22,000 into 100. We have to divide and get values. Among those values, we have to select the smallest positive value. So according to this example, the smallest positive value is how much? 120. Out of these three values, 120, 130, 200, smallest positive value is 120. So now we have to move to how to find this key value. Where the key row and key column are intersect. Where key column and key row are intersecting, that is termed as where key column and key row are intersecting, that is termed as key value. So which is the key value here? This one. Okay. This one has to be considered as key column identification, key row identification, key value identifications. So they are both are intersecting, right? So key column is going this way, key row is coming this way, both are intersection places this one, this 200. So therefore, in this example, key row is this, key value is this, sorry, key column is this, key row is that, key value is this. So what we have to do is here, after selecting the key value, right, after selecting the key value, right, after selecting the key value, we have to find the which is entering variable. The way this one, the key value is the leaving variable. Variable whichever is stopping this one is called as entering variable. Right? So the next table, right? Next table, you can put this new one. When you put the other table number 2, you can see value. Remove all shading. So in the new table number 2, table number 2, so this is the key value, 200. Where key column and key row are intersecting. So in straight away to this one, that is a leaving variable. So in the new one, this cannot come. This is a leaving variable. The entering variable is straight away the y25 is the entering variable, right? Y25 is the entering variable. Because key column and key row intersecting is this 200. Straight away above it's a y, right? y is um, coming as entering variable. Right? In the new table, the leaving variable is S10 is leaving, right? The S10 is leaving. This is Y25 is becoming as an entering variable. Okay, right. So now you see that these five things we have completed. Key column, how to identify the key column, how to identify the key row, how to identify the key value, how to decide the entering variable in the next table, or which variable is leaving variable in the current table or this table. So after that, we have to exercise. We have to calculate this. So after deciding this, the second table, table number 2. So with this variable, this 200, in that place, that should be 1 in the new table. It should be 1. Here 200 in the new table, it should be 1. We have to make it as a 1. And other variables, we have to make it as a 0. That is a needs for the calculation purpose. Huh? So in this context, how we can make this 200 here as a 1? So if you divide 200, right, all the variable in the slide, all the values in this slide, that's become 1. 200 divided by 200, it's a 1. Here also 200 divided by 200, that is also 1. Here 1 by 200. Here also 0. Here also 0. Here what is the value? 24,000 divided by 200. That is 120. So you see, this is the calculation process. We have to carefully apply that without errors. So after identifying the key value, that value should be as a 1. Right? So therefore, all the value has to be divided by 200. Because how we got the 1 here in the red color one? 200 divided by 200. So therefore, this 200 also has to be divided by, this is 1 also has to be divided by, 0 has to be divided by, this 0 also has to be divided by, and finally this also has to be divided by 24,000 divided by 200, then that is 120. Then after that, we have to make this row as a 0. 200 as a 0. Okay. Where this 200 appears, that should be 0 in the new table. This 200. So for that, what we have to do? We have to do some calculations. Right? We have to do some calculations. The calculation is this. Right? You have to multiply all these individual values. Right? All these individual values and subtract. Say for example, so this 200 has to be 0 in the new table. In this place, it should be 0. So therefore, how we are going to make it? First, we have to multiply Then write it. Say for example here 1, here 1 is there, 1, here 1 is there, 1 has to multiply by 200. That should be, we have to write here and minus it. Similarly, in all the rows, we have to do same treatment. Similarly, we have to do treatment in all the values. So this 1 has to multiply by this 200 and we have to write it. Similarly, this 1 has to multiply by 200. Well, we have to write it here. That is also 200. Then this 1 by 200, 1 by 200 has to multiply by 200. To how much? That is 1. So we have to write it here. 2 by 200 multiplied by 200 is equal to 1. Right? That's has to be right here. And then 0, this 0 has to multiply by 200. That is also 0. Then this 0 has to multiply by 200. That is also 0. In this 120, also has to multiply by 200. So how much that? So 120 has to multiply by 200. That is 24,000. Okay? Right. Sometimes you may have a confusion. Don't worry, you will get understanding about later. But carefully observe what I'm doing. Right? So this work is very important. And we have to do it carefully. If you make mistakes, then wow. Now, after doing this, we have to 300 minus 200. How much? 100. Minus it, right? This 200 minus 200, 0. Here, 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 minus 1. Okay, so minus. This is 0. 1 minus 0, that is plus 1. Okay? This is 0. This is 24,000 minus 26,000 minus 24,000, that is 2,000. These are the values going to take place here. This place, it should be 100. This place, it should be 0. The place, it should be minus 1. Then this is 1. This is 1. This is 0. And this is 2,000. Okay. This is 2. So this is 100. We got this 100. This 0 about this 0. This minus 1 is about this minus 1. This 1 is about this 1. This 0 is about this 0. This 26 into 4,000, 2,000 is about this 2. So these are the process we have to familiarize with this one. The multiplication to this. Definitely you feel difficulties, I know that, but you have to train yourself, right? Okay. Then the next one, also similar works we have to done. So the next row, in this place should be 0 in the new table here. So that's how we are going to make a 2 plus. The same way you have to apply. I copy this one. Now I'm going to do the same treatment what I have it here. So you carefully observe and follow up, huh? Otherwise there's difficulties. Right. So in the second layers, what I have to do, the new row this one has to multiply and divide it. So 1 has to multiply by 100. Okay, this 100, huh? This 100. We have to minus that value from the value, that is 100. Then this one has to multiply by 100. So that is also 100. Okay, this value 1 by 200 has to multiply by 100. 1 by 100 has to multiply by 200. 100. 1 by 200 multiplied by 100, that is about 5. 1 by, right, that is good. Right, then 0 into 100, 0 into 100 is 0, then 0 into 100 again, This one is finished. Zero into 100 is okay, then it is 0 into 100. And then that is also here. And also you have to do carefully. This 120 has to multiply by 100. 120 has to multiply by 100. That is about 120 multiplied by 100. That is about 12%. Now if you subtract minus it, sorry, 300, 300 minus 100, that is 200. Here 0, 100 minus 100. Here 0 minus half, that is minus half. Minus half. And here 0, here also 1. Here 120, that's why 22,000 minus 12,000. 30,000. Okay. So this values has to be placed here. 200 go here. This 0 has to go here. Right? This minus half has to go here. This 0 has to go here. This one has to place here. And this is 10,000. Okay. So until you get understanding, you may have some headache. But don't worry, just carefully observe what I am doing. Right. Now we have to find this ZJ value and Cj minus Zj value, right? How to find this Zj value? As usual, this 25 has to multiply by 1, 0 has to multiply by 100, and this 0 has to multiply by 200 at all the values. So 25 multiplied by 1 is 25 plus here 0, here also 0. So value is 25. And second one, 25 has to multiply by 1, 0 multiplied by 0, 0 multiplied by, that is also 25. Here 25 has to multiply by this. So 25 multiplied by 1 by 200, that is about 1 by 8. Right? Because here 0, therefore is 0. Here also 0, that is 0. Therefore only 25 into 1 by 200, that is 1 upon 8. Here 25 has to multiply by this 0. This 0 has to multiply this 1. This 0 has to multiply by this 1. That is also 0. Then S3 also you can see 25 has to multiply by 0. 0 has to multiply by 0. 0 has to multiply by 1. That is also right. Now the solutions you see now 25 has to multiply by 120. 0 has to multiply by 200, that is 0. Here also 0. So now 120 multiplied by 25, that is 3000. Now, if it is 3000, after doing a one process. So now again find the Cj minus Zj value. How we are going to do? Cj minus Zj value, how we are going to do? So Cj is 20, Zj is 25, then minus 5. Here 25, 25, 0. Here 0 minus 1 by 8, that is minus 1 by 8. This is about Cj minus Zj, this is 0. Here also Cj is 0, Zj is 0. Now you see all Cj minus Zj values are 0 or minus value. That means profit is maximized. Profit is maximized. So according to this example, what is the maximum quantities? It's the maximum quantity. When you say what is the maximum quantity we are producing to maximize the profit? Move on. 120, MS16 say 120, MS 147, mention about 220. So now we are producing, we want to maximize the profit. We have to produce only 25 120 units in which product? Product 2. Because Y 120 represent it. So now you see that in these equations, you apply what is the solutions here actually. X is the product 1, denote X. Right? X is 0. According to this table, is X equal 0. Right? According to this product, X equals 0. And Y equal how much? 120. The maximum profit is the maximum profit is rupees 3000. Maximum profit is rupees 3000. Right? The maximum profit is rupees 3000. The resources utilizations. Can you say what is the resource utilizations? Material 1, what is used? How many units are kilograms are used? Material 2, material 3. So material 1, how many units are used? Anyone? Material 1, how many units are used? You are producing Y 120 units, then 200 into X 200 into 120. That is, material 1 is fully utilized. Right? Material 1 is fully utilized by molar unit. Fully utilized. Material 2 is 200 into 120. That is also fully utilized. Material 2 also fully utilized. What about material 3? Anyone? What is the balance in material utilization is? Material 3 utilization is 12,000 units. Units. Balance is right how much? And balance is how much? 22,000 minus 12,000. That is 10,000. 10,000 is balance. Check the material 2 is fully utilized or not. Material 2 balance is there. No? 200 4,000 utilizes material 2 is utilized is 24,000 units. Huh? Material 2 is utilization is material 2 utilization is 24,000. This is 2,000. Simply we can from this table, this is the maximum profit. This is a quantity we are producing 120 units. Y denote this S2 is denote which material? Material 2, that is balance 2,000. This S3 denotes which material? Material 3, that is balance 10,000. Right? Maximum profit is 3,000. According to the solutions, how many units we have to produce in product 1 and product 2 in order to maximize the profit? The product 1 is 0. Product 2, right? The product 1 is 0, that is X0. The product 2 is 120, that is Y 120. While we are maximum profit is this 3,000. Maximum profit is this 3,000. And resource utilizations, S1 is material 2, balance is 2,000. That is about this 2,000. And here 10,000, material 3, the balance is 10,000, that is about this 10,000. So this by using these methods, we can find the solutions, but the and these two steps we have to do, these two tables we have to do. So I don't know how many of you understood this one, but you have to try to understand it. So this is the nature or the issue of this subject. Difficulties are there, but if you try to work, that is easy for you. Okay, now we have found the answer for how many units we have to produce in product 1 and product 2 in order to maximize the product 1 we have to produce 0 units. We are not producing anything in product 1. But product 2 denotes why we are producing 120 units. When we are producing 120 units, profit is 3,000. See, if you apply this equation, here it's 20x plus 25y. We are not producing anything in x, that is 0. 25, here we are producing 120 units. So 25 into 120, that is 3,000. Profit is 3,000. While you are applying these values, x0, y120, x0, y120, the second equations and third equation also, x0, y120, you can find resource utilization or just use this table, this final table, second table, you can say what is the balance and what is the utilization. Okay. So anything you want to ask from this? How many of you get at least 50%? How many of you got at least 50% or at least 100%? Cannot say 100%. At least 70%, 60%, or zero. Like if you are absent for the class, let me see the people who are absent today. Even people who are present today, sometimes it may be difficult to understand. If you are absent today, the next class is easy because it's a continuation of all these, right? So if you want to explain again, you have to say how many of you want explanation. Get the chat. Then I will repeat again. If you are not putting, I feel you have to put all the things. And how to find the leaving variable. Very good. So that is the only doubts. These are understood. Entering variable and leaving variables, you can find this by using the key value. The straight away here in the first table, this is the key value. So therefore, this is leaving variable. This is entering variable. So straight away, horizontally if you look at, it's leaving variable. And vertically if you look at, this is entering variable. So this decision is based on the key value. So we have to identify the key column, we have to identify the key row. Based on that, we have to identify the key value. Based on key side, which is leaving. That means one is leaving. Right? So in that place, x, y25 is coming into C. Actually, what is leaving? Please move. from 121. Okay, so this is by based on the key value, we can identify the which variable is leaving, which variable is entering. Really, what is the meaning of leaving means, right? So that resource are fully we are going to utilize it. So in the first table, you see that material one is not fully utilized, all unused. 24,000 is unused. So also 26,000 is unused. So this one representing S1, S1, S1 representing to this one. So it away this 24,000 is available, not utilized. That is not utilized. The S2 represent material 2. That is this one denotes that is also not fully that is also not utilized. Right? All are available totally. Then S3 S3 is 22,000 are not utilized. All are available to utilize, ready to utilize. So that's why we are starting with S1, S2, S3. So after identification, key value and key row. So how we identify the key value? The largest positive value. If it is a maximization problem, you can assume that the largest positive value means this is 20, 25,000, 0, 0. All are profit coefficients per unit profit. So the producer will give first priority to where the profit is maximized, which product is giving maximum profit or highest. So therefore, that's why the CJ minus ZJ row we are using highest possible profit is there in that product. That's the way we are selecting the key column. Then key row selections, we are taking ratio. So what is the ratio means? You see this 25, 20 first resources, first material is available is 24,000. If you divide by 200, that means 100 units, 120 units we can produce. That is the information. This is the ratio 120. The answer 120 is indicated because this is available material. To produce 1 unit of 5, we need 200. So 24,000 kilogram divided by 200, that is equal to 120 means number of units we are going to produce in product 5 because that is giving maximum profit. Because that is giving maximum profit. So then the second one, if you look at this again, because this Y need 200 units from material 1, gain 200 units from material 2, and also we need 100 units from material 3. Then 26,000 we are dividing by 200. That is 130. Then 22,000 divided by this 100. That is 220. Out of these three, 120, 130, 220, we have to select the lowest one, lowest positive one. What is the meaning of that? The lowest one means that is covering the usage of material. So if you choose this 130, this first materials would know. If you are choosing 220, the first material may not be done. So therefore, out of these three, we are selecting the lowest one, the smallest positive value, that means 120. In this case, that is covering the material usage. That's why the rule says you have to select the smallest positive value. So while we are selecting smallest positive value row wise, largest positive value column wise, and where these two are intersecting is that is the key value or pivotal value. The terminology also people know. So the key value that means we are going to produce that product. So that's why we are making this as a one in the next game. Based on this key value, we are deciding which is going to leave from the present is considered, because y is the highest bit, y 25, so unit bit we have to consider, and we have to make it this as a 1 by dividing 200, then entire row is divided by 200, we make it as a 1. So it's get 120, 1, 1, 1 by 200, 0, 0, 120, right? After that, these two values make it 0. You see, these two values make it 0 in the new table. That is the rule says. These 200 and 100, we are making it in the 0 in the new table. But there's this calculation process. Right? There's a calculation process. So how we have to make it 0 in this new table? That is the process. So now you see that I copy this one, 300, 200, 0, and 1, sorry, 1, 0, 26,000. So I copy this 300, this 300, this 200, this is 0, 0, this is this one, this is 1, this is 0, this 0 is from here, all coming from here. Yes, this is 26,000. After that, the value, the new row, 1 into 200, that's why I'm writing here, 1 into 200, right? This one, new row is this one. This one into 200, next one into 200, this one, right? 1 into, then okay, so 1 into 200, 1 by 2, this one, 1 by 2 into 1 into 200, right? 0 into 200, 0 into 200, 120 into 200. Likewise, we are multiply and write it and minus it. That's it. So then 1 into 200, 200, 300, 200 minus 1. Then here 0, 200 minus 200, 0. Here 0 minus 1, that is minus 1. Here 1 minus 0, that is 1. Here 0 minus 0, that is 0. Here 26,000 minus 24,000, that is 200. Sorry, 2,000. So now I am again this value 100, 0, minus 1, 1. All these values are from this here. Now zero shaded bar. Similar way, we have to do the same again 300, 100, 0, 0, 1, 22,000. This is so the table is 4 by 300, 100, 0, 0, 1 to 22. All these things are. After that, same treatment I am doing. Right? This 100 has to multiply by the new row. 100 into 1 into 100, this 1 into 100, 1 by 2 into 100, 0 into 100, 0 into 100, 120 into 100. That is the one is as written here. 1 into 100, 1 into 100, right? 1 into 100, 1 by 200 into 100, 0 into 100, 0 into 100, 120 into 100. So then what we are doing? We have to minus it, right? So 300 minus 100, 200, 100 minus 100, 0, 0 minus, no, that is minus 1 by 2. This is 0 into 100, 0, 0 into 100, 0, 120 into 100, 12,000. It's about 22,000 minus 12,000, that is 10,000. So again, we have to put here this value. 200, 200, 0, these values are transmitting. 200, 0, minus 1 by 2, here, then 0, 1, 10,000. After that, our operation is over. Then we have to do find the Cj value and Zj value and Cj minus Zj value. You know that how to find the Zj minus Zj value. This value has to multiply by this value has to multiply by this, and this value has to multiply by this, and finally the answer has to be added. Here 25 into 1, 25, plus 0 into 100, 0, plus 0 into 200, plus that is equal 25. Similarly, second one, 25 has to multiply by 1, that is 25. 0 has to multiply by 0. This has to multiply by 0. Likewise, all these things has to be calculated by multiply the Zj values. After getting Zj value, we have to easily find the Cj values. That is Cj minus Zj. 20 minus 25, that is 5. 25, 0, 25, that is 0. 0, 0, minus 1 by 8, that is minus 1 by 8. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's all. Because we don't need to go for, if it is not maximized, we have to go for the next steps, next table. But we don't need to go for here because you see Cj minus Zj value, all are minus no zero values. There is no positive values. 0 is 0. So therefore here Cj minus Zj values are fall into like this, minus 5, 0. So if it is plus 5, we have to again do it, find the key row, key column, key value, like all this. But here Cj minus Zj values are taking all the minus value 0. Therefore, that's we don't need to come for this one. Next to it is 3,000. As far as with the resource utilizations, material one, material, material 6,000 is utilized. Material to out of 20, right? Yeah. See, You can see here because 100 is a three is used for represent material 3, that is balance 10,000. This 2 is used to represent material 2, that is balance 2,000. Right? Here, this solution column, which is produced quantity, this balance quantity. Please